Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a special treat for you guys. I'm sitting here with Dave Belcarz, and we're with this awesome street car here, race car, right? From Motor City?
Yep, super stock HEMI race car.
Man, that's badass. So tell me about the car, man.
So this car was originally raced by Wally Booth from Lincoln Park, Michigan. And he was offered a deal with Chrysler in '69 to get him away from Chevrolet. And this car was sold to him at MSRP with the intention that he'd buy the car and they'd supply all the parts. So basically, HEMI blocks, transmissions, axles, the trailer, the tow vehicle, everything was given to him, provided that he paid for the car. So that's what he did. And then a slew of other sponsors came along, and they all got put on the side of the car. Fenton wheel for the front mirrors and the rear wheels as well.
Wow.
And so Wally raced this car in Super Stock E class, which meant basically B-body Mopar, HEMI 4-speed, and in that class they also had Camaro 396 SS's and AMX drag pack cars, stuff like that.
Okay. And
the car did very well, and by the end of the season the car was running well under the index for the class. This car actually went as fast as 1098 in 1969 at York.
Let's take this. Yeah.
And
let's take a look. Yeah, go ahead and keep talking. So check this out.
He raced it for the one season.
Okay.
And in '69, he also raced another car that was owned by somebody else called the Iron Butterfly Dodge, a '64 Dodge.
Okay.
And so '69 was a big year for him in Dodges. And by '70, he was back in a Chevrolet. So this was kind of a one-year deal for him to be running the Dodges. But with that, I've spoken to Wally, a couple times in the past, and he has very fond memories of this car. And this was his wife's favorite car, he told me.
He still lives in the area, Detroit area?
He's got, I think, a summer home in Detroit still, but I think he moved to North Carolina or something like that a few years ago. So, excuse me. I've had the car for about 5 years now, and the restoration started about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
But I've been collecting parts for this car for many, many years.
Yeah.
And just finished it up, and this is the first show that it's been to ever. So this car's never been shown anywhere in its whole life.
Wow.
And so a lot of special things had to be found for this car. Vintage speed parts are not as easy to come by as you might think.
I would imagine,
so things like the tachometer and the shifter, and, especially the wheels.
Yeah, let's take a look.
That kind of stuff was almost impossible.
So these are like custom wheels that you had made, or?
These wheels, they're basically a replica of the Fenton Sharks that the car wore in 1969. That it took me many different sets of wheels to make these wheels happen.
Really?
But I do have an absolutely correct set of these at home that I was going to use on the car, but during the course of the restoration of the original wheels, they shattered.
Oh, wow.
So I have them, but they're basically wall art. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
So these are kind of the next best thing, and most people think that they're the right ones, so that's good enough for me.
Yeah, for sure. No, they look great. I didn't even know that they existed.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that to find an original set is nearly impossible, like I said.
And then you did it was already a, so Wally had a chromed rear wheel like that?
Yeah, the rear wheels were chrome reverse wheels. Those were also made by Fenton, and those are a 15x8 with a 4-inch backspace. So even those,
super cool.
I had to kind of create out of two different sets of wheels, and then plates and all the other things that go involved with that.
Wow.
So it's not just like ordering a catalog for a set of Magnum 500s, so, but...
So 4-speed car?
Yeah, 4-speed car. It's got the Hurst ramrod shifter with a dedicated reverse shifter handle, and it's not an H-pattern shifter, it's just front and back. So... Oh, really? It's you got to pull up on the little lever for two.
Oh, I see it in the front, yeah.
So, but yeah, the vintage Moroso cable tack and the Stewart Warner gauges under the dash. And if you look, the car is a factory, not a single option in the car, so the radio bezel's a delete plate. Okay. And on that panel, you can see Wally put the on-off switches for the electric fuel pumps.
Gotcha. Let's check it out.
So.
Yeah, I mean, race car, right?
Yeah, it's a race car. Yeah.
And I like what he did with the tack. I did the same thing. You know, you don't really worry too much about down low, but you got to worry about up high, right? Man, so super cool. Lots of different decals and paintwork done, right?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to find a guy in Ohio who was recommended to me for the gold leaf and lettering on the car. And he knocked it out of the park. A guy by the name of Todd Hansen did all the lettering on the car.
Okay.
And like I said, based on pictures of the car, we recreated all of this based on vintage pictures of the car.
Okay.
And I couldn't be happier with the job that he did on it.
Yeah, because I was looking at your pictures on your board and stuff, and I was kind of like, man, the size, the location, everything, really did a great job, you know?
We were knocked out of the park.
Man.
The other decals on the car I actually had made.
Okay.
Based on pictures of other vintage race cars that still wore a lot of these decals.
Yeah.
So like the Division 3 decal.
Let's take a look. Right.
That one was recreated based on the picture of the Dart that was here a few years ago.
Okay. So this is your showboard here, right?
Yeah. A friend of mine, Gary Kozlowski, surprised me with the board yesterday. I didn't even know he was making this for me.
Oh, really?
So that was a really nice surprise. But yeah, this is all during the era where Wally had the car, and it was in Popular Hot Rodding magazine in 1969, and that's where that came from. And there's some pictures of him at Milan Dragway with it in '69.
Okay.
The second owner, Art Evans, had this paint scheme on the car, and he raced the car at 70-71, and that's actually the car at the Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Okay.
And so for the Big Go, they call it, that was like the biggest run of the year. And so when I got the car, it still had that same lace paint job on it that I had in 1970.
Oh, okay.
That's what it looked like when I got it. And a lot of people were kind of upset that I stripped the car because that paint had been on there since 1970.
Okay.
But I knew I wanted to look like this, not like this. I wanted the original paint scheme. So.
Yeah, well, that makes sense to me. Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Yeah, racing Dick Landy there.
Racing with Dick Landy, and that's the Max Chevrolet Camaro.
Okay.
So, yeah, the car lined up with a lot of really good competitors back in the day.
Oh yeah, Grumpy Jenkins I see on there, yeah.
And Wally really loved the car, and it was just a matter of in 1970 when the Pro Stock class came out, that's really where he wanted to be. And this car wasn't going to work in Pro Stock. This was more of a Super Stock car. So for him to do that, he needed to get back into his Camaro. For him, that was easy for him. Mm-hmm. And you know, it would have been nice if he'd have carried on with a Dodge in '70 for Pro Stock, but he did very well for himself with AMC later. That's where he really made his name.
AMC, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible car. HEMI car, man.
Yeah.
So all original, like, low miles, all original metal.
This car, yeah, it's original sheet metal on the car. The only thing that we replaced was the wheel tubs needed some work because one of the owners of the car in the later '70s did a little bit of hackery back there, so I had to do some metal work there, but nothing serious.
Okay.
As far as the odometer goes, the car's got 4.9 miles on it.
4.9.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's incredible. Yeah, you don't see that many cars like that with that many miles, low miles. Quarter mile at a time, right?
Actually, the car only moved the odometer the day it was driven home from the dealer. It never had a speedo cable in it again, so it never moved again.
Okay.
So yeah, that mileage is just the day it was brought home from the dealer.
Okay. So after that race,
it was only race.
Yeah. Wow. So this car, I would imagine, like a lot of these cars, right, they kind of disappear from the public eye, and then it seems like it's more people are wanting these barn finds and trying to dig them out and restore them. And
yep, this car was definitely away from the public eye for a long time. It was sold to Art Evans, like I said, in 1970, and he raced it through '71, and then it got changed hands again to a guy by the name of Bob Rhodes, and Bob raced the car as well, very successfully. And I believe he stopped racing this car in '73. And at that point, from what I was told, a pair of brothers co-bought the car, and they kept the thing until like 2012.
Wow.
So, but it was in like a dilapidated barn. And,
sure.
About ready to fall in on itself. A friend of mine, Josh King, who was living in Indianapolis at the time, just happened to be driving down the road, and he saw this thing being towed behind a truck. where one of the brothers was taking it out of the dilapidated barn before it fell on the car.
Okay.
And so he just chased it down, and long
Wow.
story short, he did end up acquiring the car shortly thereafter, and then I got it from him. So
Wow.
luckily, this was one of the cars that I always was wondering if it still existed.
Yeah.
So when it did come up that it did exist and it was attainable, I kind of did what I had to do to buy it. And,
100%. Yeah.
you know, this is like a
Man.
lifelong dream of mine to get this car back in this condition.
For sure.
So,
Time capsule too. I mean, and it's got a lot of race cred, so that's awesome, man.
yeah, especially for us guys that are from the Detroit area.
Yeah. Right.
You know, Wally Booth is a pretty synonymous name.
Sure.
From Booth and Aaron Speed Shop and all that thing. So, me being a '69 Corvette guru, it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. This is like the top of the cream of the crop, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'd love to have the car at Autorama if you ever want to show the car with us, you know?
Yeah,
Twisted Axle guys.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's going to make its rounds. This is the first show that it's ever been at, like I said. So.
All right, great place. And so you debuted it here today, like you guys did the whole.
We didn't do an official unveiling. We say we reserved that for the Roadrunner next to it that I also restored.
All right.
So, this car was more of just like a, the cherry on the top of the cake.
Sure. Right.
But,
wow.
it was definitely been well received so far, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hakeem actually picked it as his celebrity pick.
Okay. Yep. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
So that was his. That was Wally's number there, the 740.
Yeah. 740 was when he ran it, and then when Art Evans got the car in 70, he put the automatic transmission in it, and then it got a different car number and everything.
Okay. And the SS super stock,
Yeah, it was
and
still
then
a super stock car.
what's the E?
The E is the division that the 69 HEMI B body would have been in with the Camaros and the AMXs and things. That was the E class. And then in 70, when they put the automatic in it, it was EA for automatic transmission.
Wow.
So,
Incredible, incredible car, man. Lots of history to it. Love the story. Man, wow. I look forward to seeing some more of the car, and maybe you'll have it at the Donut Cutter during Woodward Dream Cruise,
I'd like
and
to
then
do that,
hey, if we could do some more rolling video or something, that'd be pretty cool too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I
I'll
appreciate.
get you some good audio for that event.
Well, yeah, give me a call. Let your brother know or whatever. I spend a lot of time at Roseville Moparts, and just like you, probably buy a lot of parts from them too.
They're one of my main suppliers for this stuff.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for
problem.
talking with
Thank
me.
you.
All right, take it easy.